Always good to bet in theoretical dollars, and then you can go into theoretical gambling addiction.
I'm interested to see what build the OD goes for this game as well in terms of items. Oh my, that is a sick Morphling win rate. 205 wins, 85 losses.
This might be more wins than I have
crazy.
in actual Dota.
Yeah, I want to know whether the OD is going to like rush a Hex really early on. Like we talked about these two mobile cores in the Morph and the Ember. They're pretty difficult to bring down unless you have that lockdown available.
See how these lanes kind of pan out as well. As it will be Gabby, Tim's, as well as AU on this ancient apparition coming over bottom, which is no surprise. It is something that we spoke about, and a lane that is probably going to be the most active. Now the question is, are they going to move anybody down here? Are they going to bring Morphling down here to go up against this? Or are they going to keep Morphling top? What matchups are both teams looking for?
I think OG are going to be happy with these lanes, the ones they have at the moment. The Abaddon should just be able to help the Morphling enough in lane that he can out-CS the Batrider. The bot lane's not going to be fun for OG, and the Grimstroke might just look to rotate mid more to try and help the Ember out a little bit, but I don't think they can win this bot lane at all. Like, they have to basically just get whatever they can and try and win the other two lanes on OG.
That is a high battle pass Seb. Jesus.
What level is he on? 2,200. Jesus.
Spend all the winnings, you know? Right on your battle pass.
Ooh, they get 3 runes.
Bounty runes here for TNC. It was 2 apiece in the previous game, but 3 this time for TNC. Have the ultimate advantage in the series.
That was really nice by TNC though. The Sven and the AA just went to 1 rune while the Nyx hung back because he knew that the Grimstroke was missing off the map. So knew that he might have been trying to be sneaky to steal a rune away.
He's actually... Jarek's wrapping all the way around. I'm surprised. I'm wondering what he's trying to accomplish here at the moment.
Jarex is just going to look to try and stack up the creep wave, I think, as much as he can.
So just drag it over.
Because just drag it over and like just manipulate the creep wave. Because if this is like a static lane in the bot lane, Seb's just going to get absolutely nothing down here. So Jarex just has to mess with it a little bit.
You're actually taking a lot of damage here from Seb. Wow. Already down quite low, forced to use that salve quite early on. Impale thrown by Tims as Jarex will try to drag this lane all the way over. He doesn't have stun for another 4 seconds, but nobody coming to meet him as still Seb's sitting really low and he has to be careful, but no Stormhammer for 10 and not enough mana regardless.
I'm interested to see whether Thompson does this thing again where he starts to cut the waves. Like between the tier 1 and the tier 2 mid. Yeah, I've seen him do this a few times now in different matchups, especially on Ember where he can't get a decent lane advantage.
Oh, blood coming out over top as Cuckoo gets the kill here on Asakshka, and using that sticky napalm to just do, you know, add on to that and make it uncomfortable for the Abaddon to grab that first blood, and unable to do anything to help him out, really.
I'll be honest, this top lane is now an absolute disaster for OG, because 1, that probably shouldn't happen, right? But 2, this Cuckoo's going to get level 3 before the morph, and he can basically just start running him down. Like, you really need to bully this Batrider out in the early levels, just to help your morph gain some kind of advantage. And if morph gains a level advantage over the offlaner, he usually just wins that kind of like 1v1.
And immediately you see him go in for Ana, but bottom, we take a look here. Jarek's in a little bit of trouble, and will get stunned up by the Stormhammer, and Gabby will grab a kill. So similar to the start that we saw in game 1, where it was 3 straight kills for TNC, and then OG, they got 3 straight kills, and we know how the rest happened. So trying to keep him, Jarek's alive with the purification, but just was not enough as they were able to lock him down continuously. More with that Stormhammer, and again, swell bottom again. Seb this time taken out, and it's a 3rd kill here for TNC early on. Doing a really good job of just locking him in, and that was the tri-lane we were talking about that seemed to be effective. When you've got Stormhammer, Cold Feet, and an Impale to work with, you needed to be careful on OG, and this is now both outer lanes struggling for OG.
It's such a strong tri-lane though, right, with the Sven. This is why we see this hero picked up so much at the moment, since tri-lane started to coming to be such a big part of the game. Was that a suicide by TNC? Yeah, it was. Thompson's getting really low mid as well, getting bullied by this OD. And this is a matchup that we talked about. I mean, he's getting more than I thought he would in this mid lane, but it's getting to the point now where OD gets like this almost level 5 mark, and he really starts to bully the Ember out the lane. That's where the Ember really starts to struggle.
And Cuckoo doing a lot of damage over top and disrupting this top lane so much. It's been a struggle for OG on both these side lanes, and like you're saying, also over mid, where Thompson's struggling on this Ember.
The best thing though is at least for Ana on the Morphling, he's getting a decent amount from this lane. Like, he's having almost free farm, you would say,
Cuckoo coming over to help out Armel, and looks like Fistering Chains, but unable to get out. And another kill here for TNC, and the first kill over mid.
Yeah, I like seeing this Batrider pick up a bottle as well. He knows that his OD's not going to be going for one, so...
Hitting on an AU, Seb chasing down the Ancient Apparition. Now the Ink Swell placed on him, but they've got the Impale. He's still trying to chase onto the Ancient Apparition, and Jarex ultimately gets that kill onto the AA. Gabby, meanwhile, he's got Stormhammer in a second. Ooh. So let's see if they try to stack the stuns with Ancient Apparition coming back. Here's the Chilling Touch, Impale, Cold Feet, Stormhammer, putting it all together. He... Grace, and he's able to survive. He almost froze over there. That was a moment before he was going to freeze over, and now Tim's might be in trouble. Inkswell stuns him up, Seb right clicking, and we'll get the kill here onto Tim. So even stacking up all those stuns is... Oh, Gabby! He gets so close as well.
That was close.
On the edge.
I mean, the problem is down here, right, that with the AA, the Cold Feet would normally be so reliable with these two stuns, but because of the Omni Knight, like you saw, all of a sudden, this Heavenly Grace just takes off the potential for the extra lockdown from the Cold Feet. And he's level 4 now. Like, if you're playing this tri-lane, you really want to be bullying the Omni Knight enough so that the Sven can gain some kind of an advantage in the lane, so that he can then just, like, deal with the Omni Knight by himself. You know, free up the Nyx and the AA to kind of roam around a little bit more afterwards, but it's not worked out like that. Mid as well. Oh, God. That was the first Sanities.
Up top is I saw Morphling go down to 1 health for a moment. Meanwhile, bottom, Seb again. He's now stunned by the Impale. They've got the Abaddon to help out, though. They don't have the Grimstroke here. As 3 heroes at bottom, I feel like OG could have capitalized on that aggression from TNC. But Spike Carapace Purification coming out, and now Seb without any mana.
Thompson is a level and a half behind the OD. From Armel. I mean, he is destroying this lane. Like, it is not close at all. You know, Thompson's got 14 CS in 6 minutes, and this is the problem when you... Every game I cast yesterday, when the Ember was picked up in the first phase, the OD was always banned out in the second phase, because the teams understood that this matchup was so difficult for the Ember to play. And you're seeing it here, why?
Spotted for a moment. Courier coming all the way down for Gabby to get those phase boots. It's try now, and they've left Ana to be by himself, who's now level 6 and has caught up to the Batrider in terms of experience. We'll see if they want to make a move here onto Gabby. Seb's still sitting so low on mana, but he's got that Soul Ring to work with. So stun onto the Abaddon, who was trying to TP out. Sasha won't be able to turn in OG. Just now losing that TP from the Abaddon as it's just right in the face of Nyx. Of course he's going to stun you.
TNC have a 3k net worth advantage already, and we're only 7 minutes into the game. Like, this... They're really struggling at the moment. I feel like if Jarex needs to try and move around a little bit more on this Grimstroke and see if he can do more with this Inkswell. Maybe towards the top lane, if you put it onto the Morphling, you know, he waveforms in.
Ana getting pressured top.
A little bit here as well.
A lot of damage being done there, and Thompson feeling uncomfortable as there were 2 heroes showing over mid. They don't have the TP on Abaddon, so he wouldn't have been able to help. He's without that TP for 30 more seconds.
I like what TNC are doing here as well. They've moved the Sven to the jungle because they understand that both their supports really need level 6. So A is starting to farm the bot lane to get some XP. They're just being a little bit more efficient overall. and how they use the map. You know, try and get as much of it from the jungle or the lanes as they can. That's one of the best things about the Sven. It doesn't matter how your lane goes, really. You know, when you have these points in Great Cleave, the jungle's always there for you.
Especially if it gets stacked by your support. Sometimes we see these heroes with this potential to jungle so well, and you just don't see the stacking that's necessary to be as optimal.
He has taken a triple stack on the Sven already, to be fair. So, you know, he's getting something. Bot lane, AA.
You trying to get out of this one, turns back, and it's because Gabby's here, but... Well, Gabby unable to save the life of this ancient apparition. However, they are converging on this bottom lane. A two-man stun from Tins. The Stormhammer to follow it up. Look at the kill on a Jerax. And the Abaddon will be able to deny himself. But there's the Sanity's Eclipse being thrown into Seb. Double kill here for Armel. And TNC continue to roll.
Yeah, great rotation by Armel there. You know, you leave Thompson away to get a wave, which he desperately needs, but... I mean, Armel's getting so much down in that bot lane. He got the Jerax kill, gets the Seb kill as well. Was the sanities needed? Probably not, but, you know, when you're going for this Midas on the OD, you want to get it up as quickly as possible.
So that means they're going Midas on both the Sven as well as the OD. And there's the Inkswell. Anna was looking for AU, but will come up empty-handed.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, the bounty unit's about to spawn as well, so both teams got to be a little bit careful here.
They've got the OD nearby as well as the Ancient Apparition. They'll TP over the Bat Rider. Jerax in a really bad spot, but he'll be able to purge off the cold feet, so he won't be frozen over. They've got the silence onto the Bat Rider, continuing to chase. Adaptive Strike comes in, and Cuckoo in no man's land gets caught out. Not only that, they should be able to pick up 2 bounty runes here over top, and it will end up being 2 for 2 as Gabby picks up the bounty runes bottom.
Yeah, really nice Phantom's Embrace by Jerax there when he TP'd in. Stopped when the Bat Rider TP'd in, sorry. Stopped him from, you know, really doing anything
again
there.
Here onto Thompson. Sleight of Fist trying to run it away, but 3 heroes coming over. There's the Chilling Touch. Armel with another kill. And this OD, 4-0-1 already, has the Midas finished. 2-0 Talismans, a Wand and Shreds looking really good, and this is a problem if you're OG.
This Bat Rider's gone Boots of Travel first as well. I mean, the whole TNC, like, the 3 cores are just being so greedy with their farm. Like, this Bat Rider's not rushing Blink or anything to make space. He's just going for it. Like, they're all just farming.
So what do you have to do differently if you're OG? You know, you're allowing them to get away with getting this Midas on both the Sven as well as the OG. Ooh, they got the stun here onto the Morph as well as the Ice Blast to follow it up. He'll waveform away. So we'll have the Aphotic Shield from Sakshka.
Yeah, you can't heal him up with the Mist Coil, but you can use the Aphotic Shield to keep him alive, which is nice. It's difficult for OG, right? Because their 2 supports don't really rotate around the map very well. Now, when you play this Grimstroke as a 4 instead of a 5, he's kind of a little bit lethargic. You know, he doesn't really... He's not very mobile when going across the map. Cuckoo top lane.
Cuckoo, just on the edge of it. Stroke of Fate also going to miss. But they're still looking for Cuckoo, and I think actually Cuckoo's looking for him. Tim's comes over. They've got the Adaptive Strike. Now the Soulbind, that locks in on the Tim, so they know there's a second nearby, but they can't really get over to him. They'll get the kill again on a Cuckoo, who gets caught out for a second straight time, and he did use that lasso.
I mean, Cuckoo was fine there, I think, right? But he decided to move back to the right again to bump into the Morph. I feel like he should have just hung round to the left as long as he could. Just fall down. Oh, this OD is 85 CS in comparison to the Ember's 36.
Wow. And
I mean, this is...
look at the net worth difference, too. Double the net worth of the Ember. More than double, actually, if you're doing some better NA math.
And yeah, I want to carry on my point before as well that although the Abaddon and Grimstroke don't rotate as well, they also have this Omni Knight, which is kind of like another static hero, right? That just wants to sit in a lane and farm a little bit at the start. Oh, Ice Blast on the Morph.
Might be in a little bit of trouble as he'll try to run out, but Jerax will end up biting the dust here. Mel really now on a mega kill streak.
He has so much net worth on this OD. The thing is, right, like, it's nice that you get the kills on the supports here, but for OG, the most important thing is that your Morph doesn't die at this point, because he's your only real saving grace here. Sven has a Midas, like Batrider has BOTs, OD has a Midas. Like, all these heroes are just going to scale so well into the mid to late game now.
Radiant's middle tower is
Seems
under
like
attack.
OG are so far behind it that there's not much they can do in terms of aggression.
Dire's
I
bottom
mean, maybe
tower
if they
is
put
under
it all
attack.
together and fight as
Radiant's
5, they
middle
can get a
tower
couple of
is under
kills here,
attack.
but if they fight as 5 and that fight goes poorly, that's just going to boost what TNC's got an advantage.
Okay, so good thing for OG is Thompson's gone for this build where he hasn't got any points in Flame Guard, which is going to allow him to actually fight really well early on with this change.
Chains. Now Inkswell coming through. They've got the Soulbind placed onto Armel. Elastro imprison himself, keep himself alive. Ice Blast coming out onto the Abaddon. They've also got the Lasso on the Ember. The Sanity's Eclipse is going to be dropped. Now Gabby comes into the mix. They get the kill onto the Ember as well as the Abaddon. 2 more in a bad spot as Anna forced to waveform away with the Inkswell on him. As they'll turn into the Nyx, get a 3-man stun, eat a stun from the real Nyx. And in a lot of trouble trying to get out of this one. Seb trying to keep him alive, back into the Nyx form. Inkswell on top of Jerax, but unable to do anything as he falls. And Seb and Anna back off all the way to the tier 1 tower, somehow surviving. God Strength gets popped by Gabby, looking over at Seb. They've got the stun, moving forward, and Tim's looking to stun up the Abaddon once again. So he's in a bad spot, but the Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and eventually Gabby will get the kill. They will get the deny on the Abaddon, but 3 heroes dead on OG, and they lost this fight miserably. Sleight of Fist,
I mean,
Searing
Thompson's
Chains. Maybe get 1 in return, but there's the Vendetta. Sleight of Fist again, not going to be enough. Remnants over, still trying to kill the Abaddon. 15 health.
Can they get the chain
He
stun?
can't do 15 health of damage, and he will end up losing his life chasing this Abaddon, and on top of it, there's the tips, handing it out, making it rain on Thompson with those TI shards, and they'll get the kill on the Jerax. 15-6, 7,000 net worth lead here for TNC.
Gonna get 4 bounty runes as well on TNC. I mean, this game is just snowballing out of control for OG, unfortunately. Like, this Morphling's going for Lincoln Sphere first, which is nice, but it's not going to help him do damage in these fights either, and it feels like that's what they're really lacking, just because Thompson's so far behind from the laning stage. Like, you really need your Ember to be really strong in this mid game to help make space for this Morphling, but it just hasn't happened that way.
They are up a creek without a paddle right now for OG.
Dire's top
Just
tower
so
is
far ahead.
falling.
Look at the net worth of the OD and the Sven. Blink Dagger already here for Armel. Echo Saber finished off for the Sven. He's going into the BKB. They're so ready for these fights right now, and with the Midases boosting them up and these continual wins in fights boosting them even further ahead of OG, it doesn't feel like OG have much to throw at TNC.
Yeah, and look what OG's got queued up next as well. We talked about it earlier. And when this Hex comes out, all of a sudden, this game's going to go completely crazy. And it's even just the extra int for the Sanity's Eclipse multiplier as well.
They've smoked up. They've come over towards bottom. They'll look over at Thompson. He'll try to rem it. The stun gets missed as well as the Ice Blast. There's a Sleight of Fist Searing Chains. Seb rotates over. They've got 4, now 5. Though Rem's forward looking for Cuckoo. They at least try to get 1
Oh,
out
he
of
missed
this.
the chains.
This is the chains, and Cuckoo's just too fast.
How did he miss the chains? He was using Sleight of Fist and he was standing right next to the bat. I don't think he got fogged. That was weird.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look how low in net worth this Abaddon
Oh,
has.
Jerax on the Grim.
Just getting caught out here. Cuckoo able to do whatever he wants to this Scream Stroke, and there's not much that they can do on the side of OG to retort that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, this Bat Rider's just so fast as well, right? Like, he has boots of travel, he has drums. So before the drums active's been popped, he's already sitting at 415 movement speed.
Dire's top tower
Like, nobody
is
from
under
OG can really
bottom
keep up with that
tower
at the
has
moment.
fallen.
And if you see what they're doing at the moment, the Omni Knight's just sitting behind the Morphling because they need a purge available, just in case Anna gets gone on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
TP.
It's not easy for OG.
5 heroes here over towards top of the blink
Oh.
forward, and he's got the Astro Imprisonment as well as the Ice Blast, setting it up with the Impale and a very dead Thompson, and they'll line it up with the Storm Hammer and continually just hand out tips.
You know what's cooking? Boom!
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower
this guy has no
Tim's is
chill.
right under Seb, while 4 heroes are here for TNC, but they are starting to rotate over towards this Omni Knight. They've set up the vision. They'll look to get another kill here. The last one with the Blink Astral Imprisonment. This time, Tim's moving forward with a Vendetta looking over at Seb. They start to converge, but it just seems to be a little bit too slow. Stormhammer, Eastwell, the damage from Gabby. They've got the stun as well as the silence. Anna trying to do as much damage as he can here. He's joined here by the Abaddon, and Gabby just in no man's land. He takes one before he dies, but that is a 7-time streak going the way of the Morphling. He will buy onto the BKB before he falls too.
Oh, at least they get the spade kill though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a massive kill for Anna in terms of gold.
Down to this Lincoln first. Going to what looks to be the Eagle next, but he's only got the Eagle song and then the BKB left for his full build, or what he's looking at for right now. He's just picked up the Ghost Scepter.
They're gonna
Another
smoke
from
up.
OG. They're trying to play aggressive off that kill on the Sven, knowing that he's not going to be around potentially over bottom.
I mean, this, as long as Tim's just hangs around in the trees here, like, OG aren't really going to get anything from this. Oh, Gabby's coming over, actually. Just...
Oh boy, again, Ice Blast setting it up and might be very dead. Sleight of Fist, he's got the Remnant trying to get away, but the rest of TNC are here to get the kill. They'll look over at the Abaddon, they'll continue to give chase. The Soulbind is thrown at the Batrider and the OD. Anna trying to do all he can to save his Abaddon, who's actually buying a little bit of a time for his inevitable
Gabby in the
death.
backline as well.
Gabby on the backline with the BKB being popped. They'll finally look over at the Abaddon, who will deny himself after all that hard work from TNC.
Like, the Ember's effectively just not a hero at this point, right? Like, it's his job that he basically has to just keep cutting creep waves and just sacrificing himself so that Anna can have the space to farm. Like, when you're this far behind, you just don't have any of the map to work with. So Anna needs whatever space OG have, because he's the only way that they're going to come back into this game. You know, when that E-Blade comes online, maybe he gets some kills onto the AA in the back line, you know, help his team stop dying to the physical damage from the Sven. He's the most important hero here. They've got to try and put all their eggs in one basket. So Thompson's going to have to just play really sacrificial now and just play the lanes.
If given enough time, do you think Anna can pull it out all by himself? Or not all by himself, but with how far behind Thompson is, it feels like it would be all by himself. Meanwhile, Spike Carapace, and Anna's turned into the Nyx. They'll Remnant forward, looking for the Nyx Assassin. They've got the Searing Chains onto the Sven. They'll get the kill. They'll look over at Gabby. The Stormhammer gets thrown here at Sakshka. They'll pop the BKB to TP out.
I feel like Roche has to be the next big objective, right, for TNC. I mean, I feel like these kind of like one-for-one trades are so bad for TNC. They just have to make sure they're not giving away anything for free.
Trying for Cuckoo, and he morphs into the Nyx Assassin, a Spike Carapace. That'll lock the Batrider in place. They've got the Inkswell too. And one more shot, Thompson will get the kill, and much needed gold going his way.
Like, this works for TNC at the start of the game, right, where you have these three cores that are all being greedy, but it's getting to the point of the game now where they need to start playing in pairs and in threes on TNC side, you know, if they're not 5 all the time. They've got to be a little bit more careful here.
Got this Hex finished on Armel. They've got a 12,000 net worth lead, a lot of padding, a lot of comfort at the moment. We'll have to see if OG can start to pull it back, but TNC definitely were postured and in the driver's seat of this game.
Thompson can afford a javelin. This is a big moment for him. They've got to make the most of it here. Poor guy.
It's been a rough game, 1-7-6. 7 deaths, a lot of them happening during the laning phase as well. As over mid, he just got absolutely walloped by Armel. So OG
I mean, this
setting
is
up
the
on
problem though. This is the problem if you pick the Ember up in the early stages of the draft. it's like not towards the right, towards the end, that it does have this option to be counterpicked. And like I said, everybody else was banning out OD yesterday.
Tim's
OG just decided they didn't want it.
looking over at Jerax. They've got the Yules. They'll look for the stun. The Impale will land. The right click's coming through. They've also got the lasso. That'll hit onto Thompson. There's a two-man ice blast. The ulti's going to be popped here by Sep. They'll get the kill on Jerax. They'll ram it away, trying to get out of the hands of TNC, into the hands of Armel. Ends up going down to Cuckoo. The BKB's been popped by Gabby, and Anna forced to waveform even further away to disengage. They lose 2 once again. TNC overwhelming OG, doing it with ease.
Do they want to go Rocher, or what are they? Gabby's stuck in trees. Okay. You're just chilling, man. Just being the ward. Role-playing Arteezy. It's fine. AU's going to get a D ward here as well off of OG. I felt so sad. They need every bit of information they can in these fights to be able to have any chance of winning them. And if anybody in Twitch chat wants to know what it's like to play position 5 in a game like this, just look at what the Abaddon's items are.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that the Ancient Apparition at 3,400 net worth has about 5 times the net worth of the Abaddon. That is the rough life of what feels like a position 6.
Soxy is like, they're like, oh, how do you fancy standing in today? Because, you know, No-Tail's not well, so we really need you. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait for this really fun and interactive gameplay with my team. And he's like, 24 minutes into the game, he's got 600 net worth as Abaddon. He's like, this isn't what I signed up for, guys. Please. Come on. Oh, TNC's smoked up. Looks like they're not going to be able to hit anything.
Can OG sneak this Roche right now? Can they even try to sneak this Roche right now? That would be risky.
I mean, both teams were just smoking for the bounty rune spawns. Like, they're just mirroring each other's movements. TNC were expecting, like, one person to be down in the bot lane to pick up the bounties, but OG just happy with their 5-man getting 2 bounty runes stop.
This has been all TNC. They look so good this game. Such a turnover from last game. In a game that they look good in, but this is far and beyond what we saw in the last game, too. They've overwhelmed OG the way they did them in the previous one.
I mean, when Gabby gets to stadeless as well on the Sven, he's going to be absolutely destroying fools. Like, I don't think anybody on the OG side can, like, live up to that damage coming out from the Sven. Like, they have this Abaddon and the Omni Knight to save them, so that's going to be the key. You know, can you use this Guardian Angel effectively? And he is going for the Halberd next on Seb as well, who's really going to help against the OD and the Sven.
Oh, Tibbs! There it is. He came over at the right time to stop that TP. But now they're gonna go. And Thompson's committed back over. The E-Blade gets thrown and everybody's starting to show up for TNC. They've got Seb. They might want to try and get out of this one. He'll morph into this Nyx Assassin and impale the team that has them original mix.
Radiant's top tower is under
So they
attack.
get out of that unscathed. But that's a close call right there for OG.
It's really scary as well for OG, right? That this OD's really close to BKB. And Armel's been playing so well this game. When he gets that online, all of a sudden this E-Blade on the Morph can't even do anything to the OD anymore. Like, he's going to be completely untouchable in that BKB duration. When he...
God's Strength, the Ice Blast coming in, and Seb's going to end up dying. He's a lot of the sustain here for OG. And then Thompson, he's the victim next. We're actually surviving, gets to the back lines. I thought he might be dead. They end up taking Jerax instead. But, oh, there's the Spike Carapace. Down goes the Abaddon. Sanity's Eclipse blowing up Anna, who buys back immediately with 3 heroes.
Yeah, as soon as Seb dies first in that fight, the fight's all TNC. They just wipe through them. We talked about that Guardian Angel being really key against the Sven, and unfortunately without it being there, you know, that was a really good catch from TNC. Exactly the way you want to start the fight for them.
Just perfect play from TNC there. They're playing it so well. They've been playing it so well the entire game. 21,000 net worth lead. They went for Seb. They knew to get him first. He's a lot of the sustainability on the side of OG. And what do you, I mean, is OG even realistically have any team fight without the Omni Knight?
No. No is the straight answer to that. I mean, it's pretty difficult to get the catch that you want right when you're playing against these two defensive heroes in the Abaddon and the Omni Knight, because technically if one of them gets gone on, the other one should be able to save the other, right? But the TNC have so much damage between their two cores, and they have decent amounts of control as well. Like, they've got the Sven stun, the lasso, the Nyx stuns, the Hex on the OD, and they're all coming from different sources. It's not like they're reliant on one hero for this lockdown.
Trying to go for this Roche. There's the Ice Blast as well as the BKB going to be popped here by Armel. They'll get the kill into the Abaddon. They'll look over at Seb. They'll get the kill. And now, like we were just talking about, without Seb, are they even really a team? They try to get the kill here onto Cuckoo. They will finally find one. Jarek's running away from Armel, who is silenced for the moment. But while that's happening, Ana will be taking a ride against this TNC squad, trying to survive, gets impaled. Armel finally finishes off Jerax, who does get soulbound.
The soul binds?
Surviving, but eventually hexed. Armel right-clicking away the waveform out of the low ground. The TP attempt, the Lincoln's popped and gets away! Woo.
Yeah, Sven couldn't get down to the low ground. Unfortunately, the Lincoln's cancelled out the Astral Imprisonment from the OD as well, but unfortunately, yeah, the Sven's not there in time. But they are going to get the Roche for themselves, at least on TNC. Like, it's still a good fight from them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've got control. The Roche pit now, they'll take the first Roche of the game, get themselves the Aegis, and up by so much. I mean, it's almost like they're playing with their food.
I mean, OG understand that the only way they come back into this game is by doing really, crazy things. They're so far behind, they have to make plays. So they go for that Roche. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. But, yeah, again, if Seb dies at the start of the fight, there's no chance that OG have of winning it.
Searing Chains
Bounty
onto
runes.
Armel. OG are nearby. They're
Dire's middle tower
right
is under attack.
here looking over at TNC. And it looks like they're going to take this last-ditch effort fight over by the Bounty Rune if need be. But,
Yeah, I mean, we saw this from OG last time up in the top lane. They got the 2 Bounty Runes, and they understand how much gold they are. It's really important, especially at this 30-minute mark. I don't know how much gold they are exactly, but a 2k net worth swing for them would be huge at this point.
unfortunately, they come over, and it's just too late. The Bounty Runes are already picked up by TNC, who have full map control. Thompson just kind of waiting here inside the trees. He's going for this Ags if he ever gets it. We'll see if he gets the gold for it. And then, of course, Anna looking for his BKB.
Yeah, let's play games with Twitch chat. Press 1 if you think he's going to finish the Ags. Press 2 if you don't think he'll finish the Ags. I know what I'd go for.
And press 3
with the way
if
this
you
game's
think
been
the
played out
courier's
at the
gonna
moment.
die. Bring it over.
Oh, did he sell something on Seb to pick up that halberd? I don't know what he sold, but he didn't have the gold when I looked a second ago.
Radiant are scared.
Silence on Armel, Stroke of Fate, then the Remnant behind. They were looking with Tim's. They've got the Soulbind, so this is setting up quite nicely for OG. It's the best it's set up so far, but the two-man stun comes out from Tim's. He's got that Anadis. He's able to survive. The center. His is going to be dropped down. Look at the kill on the save. They look over at the Abaddon, getting right-clicked by Armel, looking forward for even more. They've got the Yules here on Jarek. Slight if this comes out, but they'll grab another one. 3 heroes dead. They'll continue on to the base. They'll morph into the Nyx Assassin, pop the Spike Carapace. It'll stun up Tim's. Waveform over to the left. There's the E-Blade. Hex. Anna trying to survive, trying to make a play happen here with not much help from Thompson. Finally pops the Aegis, so it's something. Anna still alive, but everybody's here. He turns into the Nyx again and stuns them up. Can he survive once more? No, not this time. However, Tim's does eventually fall. Thompson gets a kill. It seems like it's his first kill in who knows how long.
Hashtag Rota Axe. Here we go. He's getting close. Yeah, I mean, Armel, he did so much damage in that fight. You can't see how much int he stole because when he died on the Aegis, you lose all the original int that you had. Yeah, with the Shivas as well, now has the extra armor just to tank himself up. You're going to have the AC soon on the Sven as well. So much tankiness coming through from TNC. I like that AA's building a Spirit Vessel, by the way.
Radiant's top tower
He is the
is
Spirit
under
Vessel, but he still needs a Spirit Vessel, just in case.
It was the item that almost replaced his job back when it was first released.
Oh, the
Link
Hex.
forward, there's the Hex. Thompson getting low and stunned up here by Gabby. They'll throw the ult, but it's a little bit too late to save Thompson. The Soulbind comes in. They've also got the Silence as well as the Heaven's Halberd on the both these heroes. Astral Imprisonment staying alive. Seb without any mana. He's got the Aphotic Shield on him, and he is quite tanky. The BKB is going to be popped here by Armel. He's moving forward. There's the lasso. They get the kill on the Jarex. Thompson trying to do something, but hexed up. Triple kill for Gabby, looking for it all. Seb still alive. Ultra kill. Can it be the Rampage? Give it to him. Give it to this man. Armel, come on. Are you kidding me? Come on. GG is called by OG. TNC get the game. We're going to a game 3.
Well, Gabby manages to get to the secret shop to buy his AC before the game ends.
Add those stats.
That's a big brain play. I mean, this game's just... It's really difficult to say, like, to give... I don't know, like, you could see it coming from a mile off right at the start of the game, right? Like, TNC never looked back. They gained their advantage. They constantly gained their advantage throughout the whole game, especially with the items that they built at the start, right? Like, all 3 cores went fairly greedy. The lanes went fantastically well, especially the mid lane, and without Thompson having the playmaking potential from for OG, it was very difficult for them to ever win fights. You know, all 3 of their cores need farm.